Okay. Cool. Let's check if the audio is working first. Okay, I heard me, so pretty cool. What about the resolution today? Does it look better? Let me just check it here. Let me bring the stream here so you see that I'm seeing. Oh, there's an inception of stuff. Well, the quality... Oh no, this is so cool. Wait, the quality definitely seems a bit better. So there's no resolution mess today, I feel. That's cool. I think that's cool. So that makes me happy. Does that make me happy? It does make me happy. Okay. So, here we are again. Another one. This thing is fun. I still have no idea what I'm doing. It's probably a bit better today because at least today I feel like there's some streaming software or a new streaming software. Today I'm playing out with what's this thing? OBS. I'm trying out stuff with OBS, and I want to thank my friend Josh K. Goldberg. Give him a follow because he saved me a bunch of time by sharing his settings with me for OBS and volunteering to help, so he's a time saver. But this thing seems better today. At least I don't feel like I have the resolution issue I had yesterday with Streamlabs, which makes me happy. I'm happy. What about you all? Or if anyone's watching. So I just posted a social media update so that people know that I'm doing stuff. I think that's it right now for the updates part. I have bubble tea today. Hydration. Again, it's important. Don't forget to hydrate. Okay. It would be cool if I'm still figuring out OBS, so you don't know what I'm doing right now because I'm just looking at OBS. I'm trying to figure out if this thing looks good or not. It seems to. I still don't know why there's stuff here on the chat that has that broadcaster link that's broken, but it is what it is. So, plans for today is to continue working on the SolidDocs thingy that we have here. So I've been gathering feedback. Like if you attended yesterday, that's what I did. I finished feedback from the overview, the routing, defining routes, and I have a small part here on the migration thing. And today I'm planning to continue doing this, and I have a pull request that I need to submit to update the README with of solid testing library with a small thing here. So I need to update this because since the new update of the solid router, now we don't have routes anymore. So this example is not actually up to date now compared with the new version of solid router. So I'm planning on doing a quick pull request to fix this, and then I'll have to go over the testing library thing. So I have currently a pull request opened for the solid testing library to add it to the testing library docs, and then considering I already have a bunch of feedback here that I have to go over and figuring out what's here, what needs to be updated, and whatsoever. But that's kind of part of the plan, I believe things that I want to work on and figuring out what I'm doing first. So, what do I do first? That's a good question. I have no idea what I'll do first. Let's see. Yeah, eventually then I'll have to figure out how to start scheduling these things, but I still have no idea on what the heck I'm doing at this moment. So that's what it is. Okay, so I think first I'll start with a quick pull request for the solid testing library, adding the snippet example. So the issue is this one, like I already mentioned. So if I'm already here, let me just open Visual Studio Code. Where's VS Code? Do people say Visual Studio Code or do they just say VS Code? Oh wow. So I started a small Solid app here that it's pretty much just, it's the Solid Vit test. It's the Solid Vit test template. It's one of the templates that you can get when you're doing a Solid fresh install of an app. And sorry if my thought process is a bit slower today, because I feel a bit tired. I don't know why. Probably didn't sleep a lot. It is what it is. So today, let's start this thing first. So the example was the example that I had here, so I should get it first. Let's do this split screen thingy. Probably will be better. Split screen. I don't need these, so I just have a counter here, and the path example that I need, it's this one. So let's just copy it here and try it out. Oh wait, it's not here. See, I'm so tired I don't even know how to set up a test case at this point. Okay, so this test case is, it's use params, but right now routes doesn't exist anymore. So I'm assuming that because render, when you set up a location, this wraps automatically things with the router by default. So if I just do a fragment, these paths are going to be injected in the router, right? And that should work, because then if these things are just injected, everything else should work afterwards. Okay, I'm not using this. Let's figure it out. Okay. So I think this test should be the right one. Let's npm test this. Ta-da! It passed, because route, it doesn't use routes. So if this thing is loaded by router, it should fix it. I think that should be straightforward, like this. I think so. So now, do I fork this, or do I just send a commit to update this? Let's check. Let's check previous thingies. In the past there have been pull requests. Okay. Is doing it from a fork as well. Yeah, let's just fork this. It would be better. So, testing library, code, GitHub CLI. I'm gonna take this out of here right now, because I'm not going to need it. I just need a CMD stuff first. A CMD terminal. So I don't know why do I say CMD. I want a command prompt. So what I want here: ls cdef clear. Oh wait, I need to fork it. See, I'm tired at this point. Just gonna fork this thing. Forking it. Forking SolidJS solid testing library. Woohoo! Now I can clone it. Okay. cd solid testing. Oh, I have a repository called solid testing. Okay. OS. Let's just open Visual Studio VS Code. Let's just open VS Code. And so now we have it here. This is pretty much just on the README. So I assume this is the example that all we need is to take this. I might be wrong. There might be some nuances of using fragments here, but I think if this is being rendered the router, you just need to send it there. Thoughts. There's thoughts. There's thoughts to be done, thoughts to be made. Either way, that seems cool. This is a fix. I'll push it and then we'll see what Alex says. No, I need a terminal now. OS. See, I'm using my second screen because my third screen because of purposes. Because it's the one 90/20 per whatever. I don't know resolutions. It's the one that the resolution kind of gets what you can see right now. And the other one I have no idea what I will do from resolution perspective, so I just use this one. So this means that my face is shifted that side, and I usually don't turn to that side unless I'm doing like demos or whatever, but that's a rant. It is what it is. Okay, so I want to create a commit. No, first I'm gonna do a branch. Git checkout b. This is not a fix, it's a fit, it's a refactor. Change use params example. Branching. Woohoo! Git status, git add. Let's just check if I didn't add anything else that I shouldn't. Why did this format auto formatter? Let's just do something different. Let's do like this. Save without formatting. This way the change is going to be the real one. Cool? Let's see. Yes. I assume that this should work. Unless there's a refactor here, something that needs to be changed. I think Alex mentioned something about lazy. I don't know. Maybe I like the context, but I know that this works. No, it's a pull request. If it's not, then we'll chat about it. Git status, git commit, message, refactor, remove routes, users params, example. Woohoo, conventional commits. That's cool. I like conventional commits. Oh, there's people here. Oh, hi Nate. Happy Wednesday. Man, I'm so happy that this looks great. Oh, and that's not, my chair's not locked. I have no idea. I still have no idea what I'm doing. I'm trying to set up stuff, and I'm not used to, or at least I'm trying to get better interacting with the chat. But yeah, thanks for the feedback. Really appreciate it. Okay, so I was doing a commit. Don't worry, first we're set up streams from probably the next 20-30. Exactly. Important thing is going on. I completely agree with you. I think like it's just getting the habit, forming the habit, and getting used to speaking to a screen for a bunch of times and then figuring it out. Exactly, getting the reps in. But yeah, I'm happy with it so far. So let's see how we make this better and continue improving. Yeah, and right now I'm doing a commit for solid testing library. So let me just commit it. Git push. And now it should be pushed. So now if I go to the repository, there's already compare here. I need to figure out the chat overlay as well. This visibility, but that's the thing. Like another thing that's bothering me right now is that my screen is taking up the full screen, but if I try to resize it, like let's see how it happens. Like I'm just gonna max. See, this is what happens. Now figuring out that this is, I don't know if this is bad. Let's see how it shows up to me. But it's still not full resolution, so it kind of annoys me. I don't know. We'll have to figure this out in the future. Right now it's something. Okay, so remove routes, params example. This is the first time. Oh, let's check contributing guidelines to see if there's something here that I need to be aware of. Oh, I definitely checked something that needs to be addressed here. Just gonna copy this link because I want to paste this on the chat. Just taking a small note for myself on something here. Okay, so that's cool. I don't think there's anything of an issue here, as discussed. So what was the thing that happened? Why am I doing this pull request? I'm doing this pull request because routes were removed from Solid Router from the new version. So now we need to update Solid Testing Library. So that's the context that I want to give here. So the reason I'm doing this, do the use params test needs to be updated. I tried this example, so basically I just remove routes and pass the fragment because, like I already mentioned, when it's rendering and the Solid Testing Library, this is automatically wrapped by router, so and we have a location, so if this thing is going to be basically injected inside of the router, so we don't need to pass routes or anything else. If we pass a fragment, this should work. What other context do I need to give? Oh, by the way, I'm not used to open source world, so if something, or if you notice that I miss something sometimes, let me know, because this is still something that I'm getting better at all these things. So it's a mix of new adventures for me right now. It's streaming, it's the open source world. There's a lot of cool things. Okay, needs to be updated. This PR, I removed routes and replaced it with a fragment. Given that render wraps the component with router, this should work. Please let me know if I missed something or need to update, because at this point this is an example. If I missed something or am approach. Cool. And thank you, grammar. What is? Please let me know if I missed something or if I am unaware of an issue. Okay, let's do it this way. Preview. Cool. Let's create a pull request. Woohoo! Pull request for Solid Testing Library. That's cool. Now let's probably need to assign Alex to this. Oh, I cannot assign. I'll ping Alex after the stream. Okay. Cool. So we have a pull request here. Amazing. So what's next? Yeah, I won't probably go through this pull request right now because that will take the rest of the stream. If I stream tomorrow, probably I'll go over it, or if I don't, let's figure out this. I want to go back to the docs because yesterday we finished going over what did I finish going over? Oh, routing. So I finished going over the defining routes page. That's where we're at yesterday. I think that's where we're at yesterday. Let me just double check my notes. See, so there's a lot of setting up here as well that I need to figure out. Solid Docs. Okay. Yeah, this is where I finished yesterday. It is what I finished yesterday. So defining routes yesterday. We figured out installation as well. We saw overview and we saw. Okay, so basically yesterday we only did 3 pages. I thought, oh, we did 4 because I found a small issue on migration. Partially. Either way, that doesn't matter. So once again, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because, well, as you might be aware by now, we released the beta version for the new Solid Docs. And right now we need every help that we can get to make sure that the content that's here is approachable, it's good, and everyone that comes to Docs can understand them and get productive as fast as possible. This is kind of the small sales pitch of what I'm doing. And basically what I've been doing so far is going over these pages and assuming zero knowledge of what I'm checking off. I'm assuming zero knowledge of Solid, zero knowledge of Solid Router, zero knowledge of Start, whatever. And I'm looking through this page and trying to get some feedback, some things that would confuse me, that would make me struggle with, that I would probably have to think a couple of times while going over this. So basically that's kind of what I'm doing at this point. So I did routing, defining, so we still have all of these pages here. And then, yes, okay, that's where we're at right now. So let's figure out next steps. Probably now I'll go to that. I'll continue on routing. Linking routes. That's the thing I'm doing today, right now. So if in this page we assume that we did a setup for the router, in this page we assume that we did the defining routes part, where we went through component routing, route level layouts, catch-all routes, dynamic routes, lazy load routing, route components, and configuration based routing. In this part, what I'm expecting to do is linking routes. So what does linking routes means? Let's go over it. So once routes have been created within an application, using anchor tags will help users navigate between different views or pages. Okay, anchor tags, so we're talking about stuff here. Do we want to be strict about what anchor tags are, or just visualize? So one of the feedback that I had yesterday was it would be pretty cool to have some highlight mechanism so we know exactly what we're talking about in each specific part. So here we say anchor tags, so we're meaning this part, obviously. But now we need to figure out what do I want to figure out. Sorry, my brain is still a bit slow. So now we want to figure out, okay, this is the part that we mean what we're talking about on this page. I feel like we should need some highlighting here once again. So linking routes, let's copy this here because that's the new section that we're starting now. Linking. Did I copy these and then wrote this manually? Yes, I did. I do that a lot of times and I don't know why. It's life. So let's do stuff. My issue here is now that we mentioned using anchor tags, should we link the code or represent or just give a small highlight of what an anchor tag is? Well, we can assume knowledge, we cannot assume knowledge. I'm adding the comment and then Sarah will tell me if I'm being annoying or not. I think that's the easiest part. No, using anchor tags. Paste. Should we assume knowledge of what an anchor tag is? Ideally, I don't know how to write. Ideally, is that how? Thanks, Grammarly. Ideally, we'll... Oh, I just noticed that my chat is probably over the text I'm writing right now. That's why I reduced the opacity a bit. No, it is what it is. So ideally, we could highlight stuff on the code snippet below. Does below have two L's? So that's a thing I struggle with it with English sometimes. Oh, this is a comma. It doesn't matter. Let's just do this. This doesn't need to be grammatically correct because I'm not criticizing grammar. Yesterday I was struggling about saying the word redundant. See, I still don't know how to say it today. Never ask me to say this on stage or in a conference or a meetup, whatever, because I'll probably struggle with that. Okay, but so that's the first comment here. Another thing is, so the point of this code snippet is to show that you have the anchor tags here and you can use them to navigate to different views or pages. Now, we are not drawing the user attention to this part. That's why I assumed we need an highlight. Or else, seeing the code this is what we have right now, starting with linking routes. So here now we're going to our a component. So let's just check reference link is working, pretty cool. Okay, so Solid Router also offers an a component similar to the HTML anchor tag. The a component is similar similar to the redundancy. See, that's why I do not say this word redundancy. So similar to HTML anchor is similar. Once again, paste. Okay. This phrase reads weird. And cool. I'm getting an energy boost, whatever. I don't know if it's because of streaming. This kind of gives me happiness. But it also kind of also helps me focus. Let's just check social media real quick to see if my post was sent. It was. Okay. Oh, and Sarah shared. Oh, Sarah is so nice. Retweet, repost. Is that what people call it today? Repost. Either way, let's continue working, going on this. So similar to the a component, but it supports automatically applying the base URL path and the relative paths. Okay, and then on the snippet here, so a question that I would probably have going here is, do we have knowledge of base URL paths and relative paths, and how does this work? So the base path, it's the base path. That should kind of be a conclusion that someone reaches out by themselves. But the relative path is something that will be derived by the base. This can be very nitpicky. But at the same time, how is this done? So how do I set up a... So basically my question here, my thought process right now is, should we assume that that the person that comes to this page has knowledge of what the base URL path is, what the relative path is. I think that's kind of the thing that we need to figure out. I'm just gonna comment on it and continue with it. So paste this. Use some knowledge of relative and base path. Also, a curiosity. No, a curiosity, a thing that so one curiosity I might get is, how does it automatically do that? Do I need to check anything? Is there a thing that I could check? Probably if I go to the reference I might check that part, but I'll leave the reference for other part, because then I want to go do a go through just to this part. Okay, so this is what I'm showing. So we're importing A from solid router. Cool. We are rendering it, and this will means that when one thing that I would need here is and probably the code snippet is not updated because we're linking to about, and probably the nav we might want to go to the users, not about. Yeah, the code snippet, there's some inconsistencies here. Might want to update the code snippet. In the nav we link to about. By the way, I don't know if you're hearing noise from outside of my keyboard, but there's some noise coming from my neighbors, so it is what it is. Okay, so yeah, this code snippet, we need to figure it out. We'll figure this out. Okay, cool. That's cool. Oh, okay, and we're rendering app with an F. Okay. So at this point, we have already some comments. Woohoo! Excited. And let's continue. In addition to the anchor component, in addition, the anchor component has an active class if its href matches the current location, and inactive otherwise. Okay. This provides the link with the CSS class to show when the link is active or inactive. Okay, so basically what we mean here is we can style it using these things. Okay, I had no idea about that part. That's cool. Or did I? I had the idea about the active. For some reason I didn't know about the inactive. Okay, but I don't think I have any issues with this part. So in addition, the A component has an active class if its href matches the current location. Okay, and inactive otherwise if it doesn't match it. This provides the link with the CSS class to show when the link is active or inactive. Okay, cool. By default, I don't have any comments for this part. That's cool. So by default, using the anchor component includes locations that are descendants. Example, users and users 1, 2, 3. What is the meaning of descendants in this case? So this would probably be a question that I would get in. Do we need to clarify what descendants are? We spill out the examples, but it still doesn't fully explicit in your face. So doesn't tell you, okay, yeah, users / 1, 2, 3 is a descendant of users. I think that's kind of what we're trying to say here. Yeah, this is a question, feedback that I'm going to add here. So let me copy this. Ta-da! Let's paste it without formatting. And do we assume knowledge of what okay, and that's it. Let's continue. This component offers the end prop, which takes in a boolean to prevent matching these. This can be useful when links to the route route, not route route, to the root route would match everything. This component offers the end prop, which takes in a boolean to prevent matching these. Yeah, see here we need a code within the code snippet here. But now, just out of curiosity, let's check the reference to the Oh, okay. So if this is true, to consider the link to be active only when the current location matches exactly the href, so it will ignore the descendants. Let's see now if this is what we meant or what we had here. So these components which prevents a boolean to prevent matching these. This can be useful when links to the root route would match everything. This is because what? Why is this because? Because of something. Yeah, my brain is getting really slow for some reason. Let's figure out this part. But okay, no, this needs I think this needs a code snippet. I completely agree with myself on this part. I completely agree with myself, that's cool. And linking routes is done. That's cool. Let's go to dynamic routes. Okay. So, dynamic routes. New page. I always add them even if I don't have feedback, but I prefer to remove dynamic routes. Cool. When a path is an unknown ahead of time, it can be treated as a flexible parameter that is passed onto the component. When a path is unknown ahead of time, it can be treated as a flexible parameter that is passed onto the component. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. It's not cool. It's something. Okay. When a path is unknown ahead of time, it can be treated as a flexible parameter that is passed onto the component. So what this means is that when we don't have or we don't know the path, we can treat it as a parameter that is passed on the component. So we are following up on what we had on defining routes, basically. Because I assume that this specific part is related to this. So once again, highlighting would be really useful. I think that after all the highlighting comments that I do here, Sarah is gonna start hating me. Or she's going to ask me to implement it. Wait, I don't need to implement it. We are using expressive code, so probably just need to fix this. wait, let me just read after, because there's some feedback here. The colon, 2 dots, indicates that an ID can be any string. See, this is why we need highlighting, because I know that we're talking about this part, but someone that doesn't might be looking around, okay, where's the colon, where's the colon, where's the colon? Here's the colon. So this is why highlighting would be helpful. Highlighting would be helpful. Or else, when we get to the colon part, oh, I need to give context of where I am right now. So once again, highlighting would be helpful, or else when we get to the cover, not the cover, colon part, people will be looking for it on the code above. Okay. So the colon indicates, and probably we could be more explicit here. So here we are talking about the colon in the route path, in the user's ID path, something like that. So probably we should be more explicit on the part of the code that we're talking about. Okay, cool. So once a URL matches the pattern, so basically once a URL matches users slash something, the user component will be shown. Okay, so this one. I would probably take the I don't know if I would take the users component from this example. People might ask about it. Might confuse people at the start. But that's nitpick, it doesn't matter. Okay. So here we know that this will be rendered because that's what it says here. When using dynamic segments, the values can be accessed via the useParams hook within the component. We can indeed use useParams. Let's see if the reference is working to useParams. Cool. Something that I'm thinking right now is, what about useLocation? Because useLocation, shouldn't, oh wait, this is in print, no, this is not primitives. Shouldn't this be in the reference? Oh, what? Look at this bug. Wait, how did I do that? I need to clip this to share with Sarah and Attila. What time in the stream are we? 47:20. Let me just take a note. Okay. Yeah, I assume that this is probably something that it's collapsing. This is probably because of the dimensions or whatever right now. Okay, that's pretty cool. Either way, some other thing, I mean reference, and this is showing. Yeah, that's probably an F thing. That's fun. Cool. Either way, where's useParams? useParams is here, primitives. Yeah, but useParams makes more sense than useLocation. We don't want to mention useLocation here. Okay, via the useParams hooks within the example. Something that I would expect after this would be that code snippet, and that code snippet doesn't exist. So probably we could use a code snippet after using the useParams hook to show that we can access these params to get the value of the ID. And then we can be explicit. I think that makes more sense. Either way. This bug is super funny though. Can I take a screenshot of this without... No, I can't. I was trying to figure out if I could take a screenshot of this. I'm having a ton of fun. And what's happening in my mind right now, just to give context, basically I'm thinking what might be happening in the implementation of the docs to cause this. And this probably, most assuredly, it's probably CSS. Oh god, I love CSS. It is what it is. Okay, continuing. So, after this code, after this block of snippet, let's paste this. Use params hook. After this sentence, either way. Either way, continuing this amazing thingy, whatever that I'm doing. Note on animation transitions. Routes that share the same path match will be treated as the same route. If you want to force a re-render, you can wrap your component in a keyed show like. Why is this call out here? So basically there's something here that's what does this mean? So basically we were talking just about these params, and now we're talking about animation / transitions. Routes that share the same path match will be treated as the same route. Okay, that makes sense. If you want to force a re-render, you can wrap your component in the key it showed like this. Okay, cool, but what's the relationship with what we had previously? That's a question, right? Or at least I'm not figuring out the connection. Well, that goes to the feedback. Dynamic routes, still we're here. Paste. I am having an hard time figuring out this callout connection with the previous text. Okay, so that's feedback. That's something that people might struggle with or try not to understand what's happening here. And that's cool. Okay, so let's continue looking at what we have here. Each path parameter can be validated using a match filter. Match filter? Do we have a reference for match filter? I don't know if we have a reference for match filter. Let's check. See, this bug is crazy. Either way. Wait, I'm on the match. Blah 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 blah. That's probably not because. And this is part of the route. I don't know if we have any reference for this part. But having it all capitalized makes me think we should, or something should exist. Either way, feedback. Using a match filter. Question. And cool. So this allows for more complex routing descriptions rather than just checking the presence of a parameter. So let's look at this. We have an object that's of type match filter. Cool. Oh, another question that I have now is, do we want to enforce lazy loading for everything, because that's something that's popping to mind right now. Because in all examples we have lazy loading. I don't know. Sorry, notifications. But this is relevant feedback. Force or put focus on. So this is something that we need to understand, because there is lazy loading everywhere here. So we need to understand if this is a pattern that we want our users to follow and make sense, and if it actually makes sense. That's why we are showing it everywhere. So that's a question, something that we need to figure out. Okay, coming back to the match filters. So, and this was prompted because I was looking at this and the same question came to mind again. What's next? Okay, yeah. So parent. Mom, dad. Okay, so if the parent is mom, dad, whatever. And if the ID, so this is a regex expression, which I don't know what it does. I'm terrible at regex. With HTML extension. See, so that probably needs to be a reference here that we need to link, because people come here and I'll think, okay, parent ID with the HTML extension, what is this supposed to be doing? Reading the prop name, it might give me some feedback, but we don't want people to guess what stuff are. We want people to know what they are. So probably we need to figure out linking here somehow, or getting a reference for match filters, which I don't know if it exists. Looking at here real quickly, I don't think there is any. Either way. Okay, so here match filters. Let's go. Okay, so we have an explanation. That's important. We know here match filters props allows for validation of the parent ID and with HTML extension parameters against the filters defined in filters. Where's filters? Okay, so this is gonna match them. If the validation fails, the route will not match. So in this example, users mom123 contact.html would match. So why? Okay, it has mom, it has numbers. Oh, okay, this is what the regex does. Okay, cool. It has numbers. So there's numbers here, and okay, with HTML extension means that it wants. Okay, so yeah, there's actually the thing here, but because I didn't scroll fully, I didn't get it. Okay, so this would match. Dad is here. 1, 2, 3 matches, ends with HTML would match. Cool. Users, that's cool. Aunt, it would not match because parent is not mom or dad. Cool. Even if all the other two things match. I really like this example. This is really cool because it actually gives you all the feedback or the mental model of evaluating these match filters. I really like this. Users mom would match, but then here we expect a number, and what we got instead was text. Exactly. Cool. Users dad 1, 2, 3 contact. It will not match because contact is missing HTML. Cool. I really like this example. I think it gives all the feedback that we need, and we can evaluate this part pretty well. So this part were neat. That's what I meant. Okay, so optional parameters. Parameters can be specified as optional by adding a question mark to the end of the parameter name. So matches stories and stories 1, 2, 3, but not stories 1, 2, 3 comments. Why? Wait. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It doesn't match it because this is optional. Oh, okay. See, but one thing that I kind of dislike here is and I don't know if this is a pattern, that I think this is a pattern we follow in more examples, is adding feedback inside of the code snippet. I would pretty much prefer the feedback to be down or after or whatever. But either way, I think this is a preference. Okay. Yeah, this is not a nitpick, I'm not gonna comment on this, but this makes sense. Cool. Optional parameters. Wildcard routes. Param provides an arbitrary name at any point in the path using an asterisk. Will provide a way to match any end of the path. Okay, I need to reread this. Param provides an arbitrary name at that point in the path. Okay, using an asterisk will provide a way to match any end of the path. So let's look the code snippet. So here we have a route with foo asterisk matches any path that begins with foo, including foo slash, foo ABC, yeah, because of the asterisk. Using an asterisk, but why is param here there? Yeah, the param word confuses me on this part. Provides an arbitrary name at that point in the path using an asterisk. Oh, okay. So when we're talking about param, we're talking about param. I don't know if I like this part, because we are assuming that people know what param is. Imagine that I googled wildcard routes, solid router. People would come here and they would look at this specific part. What's a param? I don't know if I assume this knowledge or not. That's an interesting thing to think about. We should probably rethink this sentence. We should probably rethink this sentence. I looked at this for a minute and took me a while. Okay, that's cool. That's something. I'm almost ending my bubble tea. That's sad. Okay. If the wildcard of the path to the component as a parameter needs to be exposed, it can be named. Is if it needs to be exposed for what? Is it for use params? It's for something? A question that someone might get as well here. No, paste without formatting. Exposed to what? That's relevant feedback, I think. I assume every feedback is relevant, because if it's a question that I have, I assume it's relevant. Note. What's happening? Is that social media that I hear? Cool. Let's continue. So note that the wildcard token must be the last part of the path. Foo, and it will not create any routes. Okay. Makes sense. So if we have a wildcard, it needs to be the last part. Multiple paths. So multiple path routes also support defining multiple paths using an array. This allows for a route to remain mounted and not re-render when switching between two or more locations that it matches. So navigating from login to register does not cause the login component to re-render, because both of them have the same path. Okay, cool. I think this page makes sense. So that's more feedback. Woohoo! We just went to the third page of feedback. Oh, this is fun, but when we need to review review this feedback and iterate over it, then it's going to be a really fun thing. Wait. So see, this is also something that we need to figure out. What time on the stream are we? 1:03:50. So basically what's happening is because this thing, when it gets active, there's some extra style applied to it. So basically it causes probably the thing to overflow, or I don't know the right name, but it doesn't fit in the container. So that's something we need to look at afterwards as well. Cool. So let's go to the nested routes part. Okay, nested routes. Let's just add it here. Let me just double check something real quickly. We opened this PR a couple of minutes ago. I did, just making sure. I didn't forget to open it. So that's what we started the stream with. So we started the stream by opening a pull request for the solid testing library. Regarding removing the routes from the snippet, because with the change of React router to the migration to the 0.10, that's the number, we removed routes. So now we don't need it anymore. So I just removed it here because renders the app wrapped with the router, and basically this thing will be injected there. So this code should work. Well, I tested it locally, so it was working. But going on to nested routes. So what are nested routes? That's the question that I would ask myself coming into this page. And let's see what's the first thing that the docs tell me. So nested routes are a way to create an A hierarchy. Is there a typo here? It's probably an N. Let me see if Grammarly picks it. Because this, let's see. Create a hierarchy, because it starts with, I don't know, the rules to using English sometimes funny. Either way, let's just try this again. A-N. That's actually, see, now I'm wasting stream time figuring out if it's an A or an N. It's an A. Because, oh, okay, it does. I thought if it started with the vowel. There's some rules of grammar here that I have no idea. Either way, doesn't matter. That was a dumb question. I ask a lot of dumb questions sometimes. Either way. Nested routes are a way to create a hierarchy of routes in your application. Okay, so I know what routes is, I know what an application is, I know what hierarchy should mean. This is useful for creating a layout that is consistent across multiple pages, or for creating a relationship between pages that are related to each other. So one thing that I should assume here, oh, there's a phone call. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's spam. That's a really cool feature that the iPhone has that marks this thing as spam or whatever. Either way, in SolidRouter, the following two route definitions have the same result. So having route path is the same as having this, where we have a route path users and path ID. Makes sense. The only difference here would probably be if I added a component for a user. Then if I went to users, yeah, but I wouldn't have it. It doesn't matter. Okay, they have the same result. The user component will render when the URL is user's ID. In both cases. The difference is that in the first case, user's ID is the only route, and in the second case, users is also a route. Yeah, okay, that's what I said. Cool, I feel happy. I didn't write this, just FYI. Cool. Leaf nodes or innermost route components are the only. Okay, so there's a keyword here, leaf nodes. What is a leaf node? Or innermost route components. Oh, by the way, route. We haven't routed, so this is the first comparison of routes, so we need to link to the reference. Okay, so we need to link to the reference here. Pretty cool. Leaf nodes or innermost route components are the only ones that become their own route. If a parent route needs to be its own route, it must be specified separately. Let's see, let's think. Leaf nodes or innermost route components are the only ones that become their own route. Makes sense. If a parent route, okay. I think I understood. Let's see the example. This won't work the way you expect. See, so this is a comment that I'll get here. So we say this won't work the way that we expect. Why? Because we show this snippet, but why doesn't it work the way we expect? See, that's something that we need to address as well. Or should probably address. So this works because if it's users, it will go here. If it's user's ID, it will go here. If not, this one won't work because either way, the ID is optional. No, the ID is not optional, it doesn't. That's a great question. Why won't this work? My brain is not working. Error, error, error. Either way, I'll figure this out after. This also works. Yeah, because here we specify exactly the default path. So here we know it's users. Here we don't know. Okay. Yeah, probably here it will always go to this path. There's something here that my brain is not computing at this time. No, we could always try to run it to see what happens. Should we try to do that just out of curiosity? Let's do it. Let's open a code example, a snippet. I had this counter example, but this is a pretty base app. So let's figure out that code snippet that we had here. So let's look at the example, route path, route path. Let's see what should happen in both scenarios. So here we're gonna say that this is the users component. Being users component. Wait, what have I done? Oh, cool. I need to close the route. That's what I didn't do here. And here I want my key as well. Being short component. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm missing. So let's add this part here. Oh, there's a lot of spaces. Cool. So this is the users component. Why is TypeScript yelling at me? What have I done incorrectly? Oh my god, stress. Wife coding. This is giving me wife coding vibes for some reason and I'm stressing out. Wait, let's see something real quick. Why did it work before and it's not working now? Am I forgetting to close something? Great question. Either way, let's just wrap this thing first. We'll figure it out after. No, it's this one is closing. This one is not closing. I'm feeling super dumb for some reason. And what am I finishing here? See, the expected type comes from component with declared here. Why is this failing? See, there's my brain is not working. I need to figure out what am I doing wrong. Let's look at the code. Path, component, it's working. Wait, no, it's working here. Why was this working before, not working right now? Let's go back. I'm just gonna copy the same thing that I... Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Ta-da! Cool. So this is the example. Yeah, it's because of brackets. I had brackets here, and I needed to return inside of it. My brain parsing checks GSX at this time for some reason is super slow. Either way, I wanted to run this pnpm run dev open. Cool. So let's see what happens in that use case that we were talking about. So if we go to, this says that this won't work the way I expect. So let's figure out first what happens. Localhost 3000. Localhost 3000. Okay, I have no base path, so it should be okay. So let's start with the users component. So this one renders. Now let's figure out what happens with the ID. So 1, 2, 3. It's not matching it. Wait, no, I'm so stupid. Or am I not? This one needs to be inside of it. Ah, crap, I didn't even have the right example. Route. And this one needs to be open. Cool. So, yeah, it always renders the users. That's what I was thinking about. It goes to the users. Oh, and inside of the users, it is because of the slash. Inside of the users doesn't work. That's pretty fun. And let's try with this one. Yeah, this example it will work. Well, that's the example that I had before. Okay, makes sense. So this part won't render because it will always expect this one. So this use case will be ignored. That's kind of where we're getting at right now. Cool. But yeah, that's feedback that someone is we need to specify what will happen here so that the user has the right feedback. Cool. Cool. Nesting through props children. Nesting can be done through the use of props children passed to the route component. Oh, this part shows up now. Where did I ask about the props? I remember yesterday when we were looking at this, I asked somewhere that we needed the props children to show up first. Where is? Yeah, see, it's here. So I asked about these 3 pages ago, and we only show this inside of the nesting. Yeah, we definitely should rethink this part, but either way, nesting can be done through the use of props children passed to the route component. This is useful for creating a layout that is consistent across multiple pages, or for creating a relationship between pages that are related to each other. Cool, so here we have a page wrapper component that's going to receive some props. And what we're going to do is we're going to return a div where we have our users. This is an age one. It is an age one. For some reason I was reading high and I was like, oh, a new HTML thingy, or a custom component, or whatever this thing is. Sorry, got lost in messages. Let's go back to what we're doing. Cool. So this is useful, and we have the props children, and we know that this is going to be rendered because this is passed as page wrapper, and every route inside of it is going to be injected in here. Yeah, but see, this is what I was saying yesterday. If in this case it makes sense, but when people come here and they look at this, not this, but this, we already are using nesting here, and we didn't specify it somehow. We need to link these pages or figure out a way to make sure that users understand what's happening here. So while routes are still configured the same, the route elements will appear inside the parent element. Wait, what? English. While the routes are still configured the same, The route element will appear inside the parent element where the props children was declared. And the reason is because they are inside the route, okay. Or if they are inside the root as well, it will happen the same thing. That's something important to keep in mind. So info. So while routes can be nested indefinitely, it is important to note that only with nodes will become their own routes. For example, this means that if you have a route that is nested 3 levels deep, only the innermost route will become its own route. The only route created is layer 2, and it appears as 3 nested divs. The only thing, so route. So what will happen here is onions. Why is there onion starts here? What's an onion? Is there a reason why is the word onion here? Is this the word we want? Oh, there's a comment. I'm just working with you're doing a great job. Talking through your thought process to act the same whether you have 2 viewers or 100. Thank you so much for the feedback, Nate. I really appreciate it. I was commenting yesterday with Sarah, like, this is hard for me because at the same time, like, I have the anxiety of like I'm doing a live code demo or a live code challenge or whatever. But yeah, it's the process of trying to do this. And thank you for working, even if, like, working, not being here, whatever, like just commenting or showing up, it made my day already. So thank you so much for being here. And thanks for the feedback. I really appreciate it. So yeah, here is a part of the onion. So we should figure out why we have onion here. Why the word onion? Okay. But so what will happen here is the innermost layer will be rendered inside of exactly. So this will be the only thing that rendered. You route create this layer and it appears that there is nested divs. Probably in this call out we could also add an example of what's going to be the outcome. So what's going to be rendered here. So probably paste without formatting. Probably should mention what be rendered as well, so people, so it helps connect the mental model, so it helps cool. What's next? And yeah, we wrap this page. I don't think there's a lot of feedback here, but at some point I'm getting kind of tired as well, so I don't know. Let me just look at the next page and figure out how big is it. Oh, okay, it's small. I'll do this one. Oh, but this is about the hash router and memory router, which I think there's an issue open. I think there's an issue because we need to improve this documentation. Let me just double check. Issue, hash router and memory router. Oh, but it's an issue for the reference section, not for this part. Okay. So it's not the same thing. It's not. Under the adding alternative routers, we need to add both memory to the reference section for solid router. Cool. So this is something that we need to add in the future. So editing this page, outside of the default browser router, Solid Router also provides hash and memory router for different use cases. So a question that someone is going to have here is, what's an hash router, what's memory routers? So let's see if the explanations are here. So by default, Solid Router uses location path name as route path. Okay, you can simply switch to hash mode through the source property on route component. Memory mode router, you can also use the memory mode router for testing purposes. See, this doesn't answer the question that I had in the beginning, and I think that's an important thing that we need to figure out, because that's a question that someone might have is, okay, what's the difference between hash and memory routing? Obviously I could go to another page, but something that we need to be aware when writing docs, when going over docs, whatever, is people should ideally stay in your documentation. So if they leave your documentation, there's a chance that they don't come back, because, well, life happens. So right now, if I go here and I go to GitHub and I start checking pull requests, there might be a huge chance that I get distracted with it. So that might also mean that I never return to the documentation, and that's an issue that people might have. So we want to avoid this thing happening. So a question that I'll have here is, what's the definitions? What are the definition? And I think that's the first question that I get here. What comes next? What comes next? See, now I started singing Hamilton in my head. What comes next? Soon you'll see. So by default, Solid Router uses location path name as a route path. You can simply switch to hash mode through the source property on route component. Huh? You can simply switch to hash mode through the source property on the router. Yeah, but that's not what we're doing on a snippet. My dog is saying hello in the back. I hear her say hello. I feel like I commented every sort of things here. See, you hear the barking? There's barking. So we have this. Base without formatting. You can use memory router for testing purposes. Why? I think that's the question. I think this page needs a... Okay, what's next is SPA, single page applications. Okay, so these ones are kinda small, so I'll just go over these ones and then we'll probably check migration other day. Single page applications. When deploying applications that use a client-side router that does not rely on server-side rendering handle redirects to the index page so that loading from... Oh god, there's not a comma in this sentence. Wait, this phrase is definitely too long. My brain is stuck. Let's go over it again. When deploying applications that use a client-side router that does not redirects to the index page so that loading from other does not cause the CDN or hosting to return to not found for pages. Yeah, this phrase is too terse. Each provider has a different way of doing. For example, on Netlify, redirects files created that contain. Yeah, and I don't understand the purpose right now of this page, or at least I'm too tired to get it. So let's do it like this. So the initial sentence is too big, not too big, too big. By the end I couldn't piece, not piece, put piece of piece, put things. Probably server-side running is gonna be the same thing. No, Solid supports also the SSR capabilities. In addition, there's Solid transitions included, so it can be used free with suspense. Why is this a quick link and not a reference? Either way, we are in server-side rendering. What time is it? Okay, it's almost 8. So by 8 I'll probably go have some dinner. So suspense, routes to suspense, resources, routes to create resource, and lazy components, routes to lazy. Okay, as it should. I think this is using a click link. Is not link thing. When using SSR, there is the option to use static router directly or let the browser router default to it on the server by passing a URL. Solid Router provides a way to define a load function that loads parallel to the routes rendered as you fetch. Where does this link me to? Okay, it links me to a Ken's article. That's cool. Ken's amazing. Load function that loads parallel to the routes. But this example is not using the load property. I think I need to look at this page again. Yeah, because I think I am too tired right now, so my brain is not piecing 1 + 1 together anymore. So I think I'm gonna call it a day. This is also almost dinner time, so I streamed for 1 hour and 30-ish minutes, so that's way better considering I had no plans. What did I learn today? That's a great question. Do I have any learnings? And what I mean with learnings is learnings consider the stream-wise thing. So some learnings I have right now is probably I need to fix the chat overlay. I still need to figure out this whole overlay thing right now, but it is what it is. And yeah, I guess we're gonna call it a day. This was super fun. Thanks to everyone that popped up in the chat. I had a ton of fun. And I think either tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure about Friday though. I don't know. But tomorrow, something is gonna happen. So just some advertisement. Let's open my X profile. Click here. And let's go here. This is going to happen tomorrow. Excitement. So basically, in case you missed this, me, Attila, and Elian. So Elian, the Astro Luminary. Attila is Attila, so you should know Attila. If you don't know Attila, he's also in the SolidJS team, and he's also a pretty solid dude. We're going to get together and we're gonna roast our friend Josh on his webpage, on his blog. So that's something I should probably... Oh, I just dropped magnets. If you hear that loud noise, I have these small magnets that I usually get, and I play around when I don't have anything in my hands. Let me just pick this up. So basically tomorrow, all this to say, we're gonna get together and we're gonna roast Josh, and it's going to be at 4:30 p.m. CET time. Is this Central Time? Is that what CET means? Let's Google it. Central European Time. Ooh, cool. So tomorrow at 4:30 Central Time, or 3:30 if you're in Portugal time zone, we're gonna get together to criticize, to roast with love Josh's personal blog, who is built on Astro and Solid. And we're gonna shout at him to do better, which is going to be interesting because Josh is amazing. He's really good. So let's see what improvements he might need. But I'm super excited for this session. So hopefully I'll see you all there tomorrow. And that's kinda it. How do you end the stream? I just click stop streaming. Well, either way, thanks for everyone that joined. This was super fun, and I'll see you next time. Have the rest of a good day. Bye.